Cellulite, Prevention and Treatment. Hi. Cellulite is a natural physiological phenomenon, which means it could happen to you. However, don't worry so much that you react negatively, pessimistically, or vice versa, too impatient to search one way or another at any cost, with the desire to cure it quickly. Know that up to 90% of women suffer from cellulite during their life, perhaps at one time or another. However, only about 2% of men have this phenomenon. Therefore, it can be relatively said that cellulite is a problem for women. Cellulite often causes an ugly, rough, distorted and depressed appearance on the surface of the skin. The physiological mechanism of cellulite is often caused by a disrupted water exchange mechanism in cells, especially fat cells which are no longer able to exchange water, that is, the ability to absorb and excrete water properly. As a result, the blood and lymph capillaries are compressed, the fat cells thus swell, visibly increase in size and thicken, in particular the dermis, the deepest layer of the skin. Although this natural mechanism does not yet have a medical treatment that can be truly effective to minimize the consequences of cellulite, making the skin more uniformly soft, and to make the skin, with its intrinsic nature, healthier and more stable, there are many therapies that can more or less meet these relevant needs. Some of the therapies I am familiar with include yoga therapy, massage, acupressure, sauna, AcuHeat, mugwort heat, aromatherapy, and more. The general treatment mechanism of the above therapies is to improve the blood and lymphatic circulation capacity to overcome the situation in which the blood and lymphatic capillary system is trapped and blocked by fat cells which are damaged by swelling due to disorders absorption and excretion of water. Sauna, massage, thermotherapy techniques, etc., all have the same very physical objective. At the same time, acupressure therapies can also have very rapid and sensitive effects due to their impact on sensitive and important acupuncture points, thus directly affecting the nervous system and influencing and regulating metabolism and physiological activity cells. Essential oils also have their own penetration and way of working. In addition to the means of entering the body by inhalation, with its properties of rapid fat solubility, essential oils can very quickly penetrate directly through the skin, through fatty tissues, and then act quickly and directly on each diseased cell. Some notes. You must be very patient and have a long-term healing spirit. Although cellulite can be well treated and relieved, it is likely that it will return one day. So you have to be very patient and find ways to constantly combat it. Repeat the new ones. Do not confuse cellulite with the wrinkled skin of overweight people. These two conditions, as I know them, have nothing to do with each other. In other words, it is not that cellulite is caused by being overweight, and conversely, being overweight does not necessarily mean having cellulite. To prevent cellulite, physical activity is the best and first option. Especially if your mother or grandmother has cellulite, you must pay even more attention to physical exercise and cellulite prevention measures. To treat cellulite, there is also no better way to treat it than to be physically active to promote its disappearance. In the myriad of exciting sports, I advise you to think above all about swimming, because water has a physical property that exerts a very particular, uniform and flexible pressure in all directions, hence it plays a role in the non-replaceable cellulite treatment. Additionally, as mentioned above, you can also choose to add appropriate yoga exercises to improve blood and lymphatic circulation, massage, sauna, reflexology, etc., to prevent and treat this unpleasant disease. Finally, I remind you to be careful with diets, especially for those who followed a 100% plant-based diet. Because people following such a diet often have a serious deficiency in essential proteins and acids whose food source lies mainly in fish, ham, eggs, meat, etc. Deficiency of essential proteins and acids. This is the shortest way to get cellulite. I wish you healthy and beautiful. Goodbye and see you soon.